Hey guys, it's Caleb, and welcome back to the Pink Side. So today I wanted to talk about the spanking aspect of domestic discipline, and I'm going to be talking about disciplinary spankings, not maintenance spankings and some of the other spankings that go on. So we're just strictly talking about disciplinary spankings today. And today I wanted to make the point that spankings in a domestic discipline relationship are like honey. And what do I mean by that? Well, here's what I mean. I've said in past videos that your first instinct when your woman screws up or breaks a rule or whatever generally should not be to go right for the spanking. A woman should get a handful of chances to correct whatever behavior she's engaging in before you reach that spanking point. And I stand by that. Spanking is, I've always said it, as the male, as the leader in your relationship, as the boss in the relationship, you have like a toolbox, right? And spanking is like the big power tool. It's like the big power drill, right? Well, you don't pull the power drill out for everything, right? If you just need to hammer a single nail into the wall, you either get a screwdriver or a hammer, right? You don't pull out the power tool to just fix one nail. You know what I'm saying? And it works the same way with domestic discipline. You try a couple of other avenues first, generally speaking, before you go right for the spanking. So what does this have to do with spanking being like honey? Honey is a great thing in small amounts. Honey is very healthy in small amounts. I mean, it's helped people heal of viruses and diseases and all kinds of stuff. If you consume a little bit of honey each day, you're going to reap a lot of health benefits from that. Plus, you're going to have that sweet taste in your mouth, right? But if you consume too much honey, like let's say you're consuming like half a jar of honey a day, it's gonna cause problems. And if you do it for too long, it's going to rip your insides right out. I mean, you're going to start having liver problems and kidney problems and all kinds of stuff. Because honey is only healthy in certain amounts. So once you get past a certain amount of regular usage, it actually becomes detrimental to your health. It interferes with digestion. It does all kinds of things. It does if you're taking it too much. It doesn't let vitamins and minerals absorb properly in your body. I mean, there's just all kinds of problems with taking too much honey. And the disciplinary spanking aspect of a domestic discipline relationship is just like that. A well-placed spanking for discipline restores harmony to the relationship. It's sweet like honey. It clears the air and brings an air of like sweetness between you and your partner. But if it's done too much, it starts to have the opposite effect. It starts to hurt your partner. It starts to hurt her self-esteem. It starts to make her walk on eggshells. And it honestly hurts you as the man too. Because the fact is, giving a disciplinary spanking, it takes a lot of mental and psychological energy. People talk about the mental and psychological energy it takes for a woman to receive a disciplinary spanking. Very few people talk about the mental and psychological energy it takes for a man to give one. Because when you're giving a woman a disciplinary spanking, you're making yourself in tune with her emotions while having to stay in control and also give her that corrective discipline. It's a very intense thing. And if you're doing it right, it does take a lot out of you. It does drain energy out of you to a great extent. So if you're doing it too much, it not only hurts the woman, it starts to have a negative psychological effect on the man too. That sweet taste of honey that you got from dishing out disciplinary spankings is now bitter because she's getting spanked all the time and you're having to do the spanking all the time and go through that whole emotional process all the time. Plus, it's just not fun to see your woman struggling, and she's going to be struggling physically and mentally when you're spanking her. So, use spanking in a domestic discipline relationship the way you would use honey. If you're a major honey head, take 2-3 spoonfuls of honey a day. Mix it in with your tea or whatever you do with it. But don't let it go much beyond that, because if you consume too much, it's going to backfire on you. The same is true with spanking. And I said this before, and I've said this in other videos. Too much spanking also makes it lose its disciplinary effect. And this is why I'm an advocate for well-placed spankings. Anything done too much either becomes detrimental or loses its effect. When it comes to spanking a woman, you have to choose your spots. You can't spank for everything. You can't even spank for everything major. You have to develop a dynamic with your woman to where you just intuitively know when it's time for a spanking. It can't just be based on a particular rule broken. You see what I'm saying? But once you get to know a woman well enough, you'll know when that moment comes. See what I'm saying? So I know I'm throwing a lot out here today, but this is the best way I can think of to talk about the disciplinary spanking and its effects now. It's like honey. A well-placed teaspoon of honey tastes sweet and has great beneficial effects for you. Too much honey, and you're going to be sick all the time, right? So that's just the way it is. When you spank a woman for discipline, it should be a real disciplinary spanking, and she should remember it. However, you have to choose your spots. You have to decide what's worth putting both my woman and myself through this and what isn't. Don't just make a bunch of rules and say, this is a spanking, this is a spanking, this is a spanking. What I do is I make a bunch of rules, or I make some rules, but every rule is a potential spanking. There's potential for the spanking for this or that rule violation. But it's generally not automatic. That's how I do it. And other people do it a different way, and that's fine. As long as you're not overusing the spanking element, you're good. So that's what I got for you today, guys.